Well, Bethlehem is obviously known as the birthplace of Jesus. It's also just 5 miles from Jerusalem. A new film indicates the next Hamas war against Israel may come from this little town. It also describes how a UN agency has helped setting the stage for the attack. CBN News Middle East correspondent Julie Stahl has more.
When Israel entered Gaza after October 7th, soldiers found evidence that Hamas had used UNRWA facilities for training and weapons storage, with a number of UN workers working with the group.
Hamas's relationship with UNRWA is good, very good. We assist UNRWA, and Hamas cooperates with UNRWA on many levels.
For years, CBN News has reported how Hamas uses UN schools and summer camps in Gaza to indoctrinate thousands of children. They're taught to hate and even kill Jews while learning Israel is an illegitimate state that should be destroyed.
You're the generation that is being trained to fight. Although you are young, you're being trained for holy war.
Now a new film by the Nahum Bedein Center for Near East Policy Research shows how this education of hate is being spread to young students in Judea and Samaria, also known as the West Bank. David, tell us about your new film.
The new movie, UNRWA at War, will show how UNRWA instigated the war from day one, show how UNRWA is preparing a new war in the area of Bethlehem, in the 4 UNRWA refugee camps in Bethlehem.
What would a war coming from Bethlehem look like?
It would spill out into Beit Shemesh, into Efrat, into Jerusalem, and with similar atrocities. Because from their point of view, the end justifies the means. And they've been educated since August 1st, 2000 in the new school system to believe that they have a right to take back any land lost in 48 by force of arms.
Bethlehem is only about 5 miles from Jerusalem. Bedein's crew interviewed children and teenagers in 4 nearby UNRWA refugee camps and asked, can Jerusalem be divided between Palestinians and Jews?
No, we won't agree to it. It's impossible. Jerusalem is ours, and we won't give up Jerusalem. We will give our souls for Al-Aqsa if Jews will take it. Israel will not withdraw from our land. We have to fight for it. We have to fight in order to free Palestine, and with Allah's help, we will have our land. What is the solution to Jerusalem? To kill the Jews. We'll get rid of the Jews. My only desire is to become a martyr.
There will never be peace between the Palestinian and the Zionist state. I desire a martyr's death so I can become a role model for the next generation who seek to give their soul to Palestine.
Interesting also that it's Bethlehem, which has a real strong biblical connection.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and this is the whole point.
Yeah.
That Bethlehem is recognized around the world. But when we conducted one of our short films shows the children there wanting all to go, they think that they all should live in Malcha, which is now a thriving neighborhood in Jerusalem. Mm-hmm. And they think they're going back there, and they think they're going to take the people's homes and kill everybody there. Again, the difference between this and a regular terrorist organization is that this is not encouraging hatred, this is encouraging murder.
How can it be stopped?
You have a law enforcement system, and anyone who's involved with terror gets arrested and stopped. It's not a rocket scientist. This can happen. But if there's a will, there's a way. And trying to have easy solutions, there's at least 12 prominent personalities around the world, so just get rid of UNRWA. Well, I'd like to be the king of Siam also. You can't do everything, or as a great rabbi once said, you can't always get what you want. Mm-hmm. Well, think of who said that. But you can't always get what you want. You can't just get rid of it. What you can do is you can introduce policy initiatives that will change the situation.
Bedein says it's important to introduce policies that will change policies if you want the situation to improve. Julie Stahl, CBN News, Jerusalem.
I remember going to Bethlehem back in the 1960s, the 1970s. It was under Israeli control then, and it was peaceful. The Christian population of Bethlehem was roughly 80% of the population in those decades. And then there was a peace deal, and supposedly part of that peace deal was the establishment of the Palestinian Authority, and in that, Israel gave up sovereignty, they gave up control, and they turned over specific areas of the West Bank to the Palestinian Authority. Bethlehem was one of those cities. And under Palestinian Authority, the population has flipped now, where only 20% of the population is Christian. And the reason is these radical Muslims have completely driven them out. There was even a time where the terrorists took over the Church of the Nativity. So that shows you just how far they're willing to go. I have been strongly advised that I can't go back to Bethlehem. In the 70s, we would have these wonderful Christmas Eve services in the fields surrounding. We'd have candlelight services, and it was absolutely incredible. The Bedouin shepherds would come with their flocks and join us. What are these crazy Americans doing with candles out in the field? And we would be singing Christmas carols. It really is stark on the ground. And when you get this information on the ground, then it makes you question, what in the world is our State Department doing encouraging this? There's a dramatic difference between what happened under the Trump administration and what happened under the Biden administration. Trump shut off funding to UNRWA in the first week that Biden was president. He restored the funding. And when you look at what UNRWA is doing on the ground, not just in Gaza, but also in Bethlehem, just 5 miles from Jerusalem, it chills your blood to see children say, I will die, I will give up my soul. These are incredible things. They're being taught hatred. They're being taught to murder Jews. They're being taught that this is the highest thing they can do with their lives. They're not about to try to build a state and live at peace with Israel. That's not what they're about at all. They want to wipe Jews out. They want to completely eliminate Israel from the map. And why are we supporting that? And why are we paying for that? Because that's what's happening. It's your tax dollars at work. It's time for this to end. It's time for UNRWA to go away, no longer exist. It has no reason to exist if it's going to promote this kind of hatred. So please, as part of your duty as a citizen of the United States, let us demand that our government stop funding this. Make sure that your representative and your senator knows exactly how you feel. Congress has passed an act to stop it. Let's fully support that. And let's make sure no future administration ever restores this funding. This needs to stop. October 7th was on our watch, and we need to pledge never again.